Hey guys, this is how to play Ring of Fire, the classic song by Johnny Cash. It's part of your 3-chord series, how to play 10 songs with G, C and a D. In this song I'm going to be sticking to the Noel Gallagher style that I nickname of playing these 3 chords. So your G with your 3rd and little finger down. Moving down to a C is therefore super easy and you can do it really quick. It's just your first 2 fingers moved down by 1 string. Sounds like this, making sure that we're not playing that thickest E string. And then your D chord is totally normal, the standard way you would do your D. Your intro is 2 beats of a G, 1 beat of your C, and then back to the G again. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's only 3 kind of beats for your first bar, but that makes it fit with the lyrics and fit with the trumpet solo at the start. And we're just strumming this on the beat to begin with, and I will show you your kind of Johnny Cash strumming style after we've learned the rest of the song. This song is in the songbook style. So when you search for lyrics or chord sequences online, you may see most of the songs written down with the lyrics and chords above them without any bar lines, and this means that a chord happens on a certain word. Now with this style of writing out songs, it's best if you really know the song very well to begin with. If you can't kind of sing along to the song in your mind first, it's going to be pretty tricky for you. But you can still work through it kind of line by line and try and spot the patterns as you go. So here we're starting on a G chord, but we're changing to this C chord on a certain word. And the rest of the time we're just playing a G chord on the beat. And the way that Johnny Cash would used to play these songs, especially live, he might stay on that G chord, even if they'd rehearsed it, a little longer than he should, but the band knew not to change chord until he got to that certain word, until he was ready to kind of move on to that next line. So this is a really good preparation for that, and how to play any songs along to these songbook kind of chord book style. So your first line of your song, love is a fiery thing. We change to C on fiery, but we're straight back to the G on thing. And the rest of the time after you've said love, love, you can keep playing on the beat. And when you get used to this, it becomes kind of instinctive, especially when you know how the song goes, as I say. But to begin with, it can be very tricky because you're unsure of your count. You're not sure where to count the beat, and the best thing to do is just don't count these songs. Just try and feel the pulse in the music and keep it regular. And even when you're playing this without the record, try and work through it in that way, and it should really help you. So the first few lines, the first verse, we're going to start on a G. 2, 3, 4. Love to see is a burning thing. 2, 3, and it makes a fiery ring. Bound by wild desire, I fell into a ring of fire. So your D for your chorus, all the verses are kind of very similar to that first one, but again you're changing on a certain word, which can be strange to begin with. Don't worry about it. We can rely on bars and beats here a little more, so we've got a bar of D, 2 beats of a C, and then back to your G chord for 2 beats. So a whole bar of D, 1, 2, 3, 4, C, back to G. That one more time, 1, 2, 3, 4, C, back to G. That would happen twice, and then it goes back to being a very similar thing to the verses. So the start of the chorus, from a D, 2, 3, 4. I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down, 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 and the flames went higher, and it burns, burns, burns. The the ring of fire. The ring, that will be a D chord at the end of, and it just repeats from there really. Same sort of thing with the intro. Dun, 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 dun. He's changing on a certain part of the melody, which is a really cool thing to learn how to do, especially if it stops you from counting in your head all the time. When you're playing in time, if you're really comfortable doing it, you shouldn't have to count. You should kind of feel where you are in a bar, or feel where that pulse in the music is to keep you in time. And it's something definitely to bear in mind. If that's something that you can't yet do, don't worry about it, it's totally fine. But to work past that, this is a really good method to get that. For Johnny Cash strumming, most of Johnny Cash's songs, to give it this country feel, are kind of similar to a Bob Dylan style of strumming, which sounds like this. And that will be thickest strings, or the bass note to whatever chord it is that you're playing, bass note, and then everything. If you want to pick out the single notes, then you've got to know which single string you want to hit. So that would be the thickest E string playing a G note on a G chord, and then you've got to change to a C, which is on the A string, that single note when you go to a C chord. To begin with this kind of method, and for the purpose of these videos, I'm going to show you how to do it thicker strings and then everything, to give it this sort of feel, which sounds really similar to the playing single strings, but is a lot easier to do, especially if you go into the D chord. Thicker strings, everything sounds a lot better if we can play in time with all these chord changes. So the idea would be thicker strings, everything, and it's the thicker strings that are the beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and if we go through that on the chorus first, because that's more regular, it's probably the best part to go for. So from your D chord, a whole bar of D would sound like 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and a C for 2 beats, or 2 thicker strings, and then G for 2 beats. So one more time. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and C, back to G. And that's a really way to go about playing this song and give you that kind of Johnny Cash feel. Sometimes there may be an added upstroke in there as well, if you're feeling confident with this. So 1, and a 2, and a 3, and a 4, and a 1. But generally, for Ring of Fire, it's just keeping it on downstrokes in a more folky style, but add that upstroke in and it will sound a little bit more country. That's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed this batch of songs. Please subscribe and check out more songs with your G, C and D chords.
This place ain't the same, the details have changed since I moved away years ago. The place I was born, where I say I'm from, with an accent not strong as before. My hometown, in my hometown. I hear my memories, I hear my heart always is in this town. Changing from my background, an old mining town.